Again, as a reminder to the viewers, we have read the first 22 chapters of Pluto. Pluto as a whole had 65 chapters. So we're going to divide it into three parts. The next part will be coming in a couple of weeks when we've gone through it. We have not watched ahead. We have not read ahead. We do not know the ending. Please forgive us of our takes if they're terrible, but they are honest and genuine. We're going to go into the big five, where we talk about 5 different topics that we taken from the show, the 5 topics that we have seen as interesting. So the first one, you're the one who brought this up. I'll let you get into it, bring us up. Humans and robots, the differences. So the relationship between humans and robots. Tell me your thoughts.
I think, as you've seen in the book, there's not really much of a difference here. Robots also have things such as wives. They live normal lives. They go about their days. They work as well. They're basically human. The only thing that's not human about them is their wiring, their circuits. Literally, even in the book, they're saying things like it's hard to differentiate between a human and a robot nowadays because they're just so similar. There's nothing that can really tell, unless if you talk about his case. Sorry if I butchered the name, but the way he delivers it as how you can tell between a human and a robot is a human would make unnecessary action in it, but a robot would just do everything by the book. Like, let's say when a human's writing, he might twiddle his pencil. A robot wouldn't do that because he sees no reason to do that, wasting time. So yeah, I'm saying there's not really much of a difference. But what's your take on it?
See, with the humans and the robots, right? The premise of the show is kind of like, okay, robots were created, I guess, to further society as tools. But now they're becoming more human-like. Because even the robots, like there's a couple scenes where we see, what's Astro Boy's name in the show again? Atom. Yeah. We see Atom crying, and then we see Atom's sisters crying, and we see Geist, or again, forgive us for the butchering, Geist. Yeah, he's crying. And then people are essentially we're seeing the humans' reaction of these people are becoming more human. And obviously these people are the advanced AIs, the better AIs. So there is not that much of a difference, or the difference that there was is closing. Again, as you said before, the robots are they're efficient, they're diligent. But we're seeing changes. They're becoming more human. Like, one of the main themes of the story is, can they experience emotion? They're talking about love. They're talking about hatred. They're talking about fear. So it is interesting. It is interesting. I think in this show, they do. And then I guess there's also a feeling from the humans of, I don't know, if maybe fear of being replaced. Yeah, because a lot of them are, they don't want to see that robot development. They're like kind of like hating on these robots. Remember, what's the name of the so we got North 2, right? North 2, and the couple chapters we see where he's working with the musician,
Master Duncan.
Yeah, so the musician is kind of like, you don't know anything. You're just a tool. You don't know what it means to. You don't know what it means to be a human. You can't experience emotion. But even him, through the process and through their relationship, he's actually seeing that no, these robots can encounter the feeling, and he was able to overcome his hatred in a way. But other characters, we'll get into it, like these KKK members.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, the KP, KI,
whatever that is, them guys, they can't overcome it. So it's a very interesting world, but for me, the robots are becoming more human-like, and the humans don't like that. Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
So, what are your? You know what's interesting, right? Is I thought of this in the last couple chapters. We see when we're introduced to the KP, we've got this character whose brother was killed by a robot. And I think he's a news reporter. Is it a news reporter or a talk show?
I don't remember what he was. I know he's a part of the KR.
Yeah, but there's a scene about the talk show, and then we've got the guys on one side who are pro robots in a sense, kind of like the libertarians, the pro robot, you know, the robots are good, we should be happy about them. And then you got the guys on the other side, which are like, nah, Bundy's robot, they've not experienced real humans. That kind of remind me of politics today, you know. Like, who do you think who's who in the real world? Who's pro robots? Who's anti-robot? If in the room,
I'm not really versed in politics like that, innit? But if I was to take an opinion, I'd say if we were to have a world where people would say everyone's equal, would that really work? And I don't think it'll work for any type of government right now.
nah, of course.
Because right now, humans aren't even for humans. Now you're telling me humans have to be for robots and humans as well. That simply just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And you need to take account countries like Russia, where there might be more of a communist government, therefore the robots fall under this veil as everyone's equal. How can a robot be equal to a man? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the underlying issue with Pluto's world. It can never happen in our world.
It wouldn't happen because, as you said before, that's actually a good take. That people are not even equal right now in the world. Well, now telling me we should add, okay, men are not equal, and then now we're gonna have robots are not equal as well. We should fight for the quality of robots, but it's
Exactly.
It's very interesting because are these robots tools? You personally, are you looking at them as humans or still tools?
I think they're humans. But I wouldn't call them equals. They're not equals. They're above us. They're superior to humans. It's just a fact. But people of this world, some might see as that and others might not.
So there is superior in ability, but what about importance? Because, okay, let's look at this, right? Let's look at animals.
Yeah.
Some animals, like let's say a lion, is superior in terms of maybe brute strength, just naturally. Let's not include weapons and stuff like that. But you would say that we're superior in importance or in terms of like the food. We got the food chain, right? We're importance. Like a child is more important than a dog.
Yeah.
So even though these robots are superior in terms of ability, do you think they're superior in terms of importance?
Okay, but now you have to tackle this issue. What would humans be able to do without a computer? How would we advance? Can we advance? The answer is just no. We've needed computers for the last 100 years or so. So robots are basically just walking, living computers. They're superior to us in every way. So that's how I look at it.
So then don't you think you eventually reach a stage where they become so important that humans are now the animals?
Not necessarily, because okay, I see where you're coming from, that humans can now be like the lowest species to them. In almost in a sense that now the humans have become the lions and the robots have become the humans.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Different archetypes between them, but I'd say that humans will always be important in this world, innit? Because let's not forget, humans upkeep the robots. Not to say that they couldn't do it themselves, but they upkeep the robots. Humans did also create the robots, so there's always going to be some sort of need between them. They both benefit from each other, but if we're talking about the long term in this world, humans will definitely be outgrown by robots eventually.
Because in the world of Pluto, right, the whole point is that the difference between humans and robots is humans have emotion. Humans have emotion, humans have a conscious, they have a soul. So that's why they're more important. But then with these new robots, they're developing conscience. But we're seeing Atom develop conscious and emotion. We're seeing Geist develop conscious and emotion. So I think in the way that world is going, they'll reach a point, maybe we're going to encounter it in the series, I hope so. There'll be a point where there is a overtaking, in a sense. There is going to be a maybe taking over of control of importance, which is very, very interesting. And it's kind of I don't know when this show came. When did the manga come out?
Either early 2000s or late 90s, somewhere between there.
Yeah. So 2003 to 2009. He wrote this in 2003. Imagine 2024, we've got ChatGPT, we've got all Mid-Journey, we've got all these AIs.
Yeah.
He didn't even know about all of that. So it's kind of maybe sober-minded to where we are right now. But I don't think, obviously, we're not at the stage where ChatGPT is walking and clothes and stuff like that. So we're not there yet. Do you think we'll ever be there in our lifetime?
100%.
You think in our lifetime we're going to have walking AI?
Yeah, why not? I mean, there are already some artificial intelligences like that. But it's literally just a head. I mean, Siri is an example of this.
Yeah, but Siri is in our phone.
Yeah, and so can ChatGPT. And look at how advanced ChatGPT is.
But do you think we'll ever have that as a person walking?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be possible?
We've got the AI technology, but do we have like the biotech technology?
I mean,
because that's now that we're talking about Marvel before the recording. That's like Jarvis. That's Tony Stark.
Let's not forget that some of these robots in this world don't all look like Geist. There are robots out there that look like North 2.
Okay, yeah.
You saw how North 2 look. North 2 generally looks robotic.
And Mount Blanc as well.
Yeah, so if we were to have robots in our world, they'll obviously start like that. Obviously, more robotic looking robots, and then you go up, 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 up until you reach a stage where robots are just, they look human. So it's almost like that game, Detroit Become Human. It's like that. If you've ever played that game or know what it is.
Nah, I don't know too much about that, but I'll look into it.
Yeah.
But overall, final thoughts on these humans and robots. I think the gap is getting closer, and there's a fear on the human side that the robots are going to take over.
Yeah.
The robots are going to take over in importance. Not necessarily, I think ability, we already know that they're better in ability, but in importance.
Yeah, they've gone past.
In significance. And when they take over, it's what will they do? But we shall see. The next in the big five is